Welcome back to our channel, everyone. It is a gorgeous day today, and we are absolutely thrilled to have you here with us to dive into the latest, most jaw-dropping moments from Port Charles. I have to tell you, I am still catching my breath after witnessing the sheer terror and absolute chaos that just went down at the Jerome Art Gallery. I mean, I just about fell off my chair when I saw Jen Sidwell making his move. We all knew this man was dangerous, but seeing him walk right into Ava Jerome's sacred space and take total control of the room sent shivers straight down my spine. It was not just a threat, it was a complete violation of everything Ava has built. The gallery has always been Ava's pride and joy, her legitimate claim to high society in Port Charles. And to see a monster like Sidwell just waltz in and turn it into a hostage situation is something that will stay with me for a very long time. My heart was pounding out of my chest as I watched this nightmare unfold, and I just could not believe how quickly things escalated from a tense conversation to a full-blown fight for survival. When I saw that Sidwell had taken Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner hostage right there among the beautiful artwork, my stomach just tied itself into knots. Bless her heart, Justine is a woman of the law. She is supposed to be the one putting criminals behind bars, the one standing up for justice in the courtroom. We have watched her push so hard to prosecute Curtis Ashford for his assault on Isaiah Gannon, even betraying Jordan Ashford's trust to do it. She thought she was holding all the cards, acting so tough and unyielding, but in that moment, with Sidwell holding her captive, all of that legal authority just melted away. She looked so incredibly small and terrified, and honestly, I felt a deep wave of sympathy for her. Nobody deserves to be put in a situation where their very life is hanging by a thread, especially at the hands of a ruthless villain who clearly has absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. But then, just when I thought the situation could not possibly get any more intense, Sidwell dropped a bombshell that completely knocked the wind out of me. He revealed that he has video evidence proving Brooke Lynn Quartermain is the driver who hit Jordan in that awful hit-and-run accident. Oh my goodness, I could hardly believe my ears. We have all been watching Brooke Lynn carry this heavy, agonizing secret, completely eaten alive by guilt. She has been pacing the floors, wanting to confess, especially when poor Isaiah was being falsely accused of scraping that guardrail. We saw Tracy Quartermain practically demanding that Brooke Lynn keep her mouth shut to protect her marriage to Harrison Chase and to ensure they can still adopt sweet little Phoebe. And now, out of nowhere, this dark, terrible secret is in the hands of the most dangerous man in town. It is like watching a slow-motion train wreck, and I am just terrified for Brooke Lynn. The twisted game Sidwell is playing is truly diabolical, and it makes my blood boil just thinking about it. He looked right at a terrified Justine and gave her an impossible ultimatum. He told her that if she wants to live, and if she wants him to destroy that video evidence protecting the Quartermain name, she has to drop all the assault charges against Curtis Ashford immediately. I was completely speechless. Talk about being caught between a rock and a hard place. Sidwell is literally forcing an officer of the court to pervert the course of justice. He is using Brooke Lynn's terrible mistake as a weapon to manipulate the legal system. And he is doing it with this sickeningly calm demeanor that just makes him all the more terrifying. It is a masterclass in psychological torture, and I could feel the heavy, suffocating weight of the choice pressing down on Justine's shoulders. I cannot help but think about how this affects Curtis, who is currently facing a brutal trial with no plea deal in sight. Curtis was desperate enough to ask Alexis Davis to represent him because he knows his life is on the line after breaking Isaiah's arm. Now, thanks to Sidwell's blackmail, Curtis might just walk away scotangent-free, but at what cost? Curtis is a proud man, a man who values his family and his integrity despite his recent mistakes. If he ever finds out that his freedom was bought by a sadistic criminal holding a woman hostage and covering up the hit and run that nearly killed his ex-wife Jordan, it would completely destroy him. It is such a tangled, messy web, and I find myself feeling so anxious for all these characters who have no idea that their fates are being decided in a locked art gallery by a madman. And then there is Ava Jerome. Oh, my heart just ached for Ava in this scene, which is saying a lot because we all know Ava is usually the one pulling the strings. Ava is a survivor, a woman who has fought tooth and nail for every ounce of power and respect she has in Port Charles. She is used to being the blackmailer, like how she is currently holding Ethan Lovett's paternity secret over his head. But seeing her backed into a corner, completely powerless as Sidwell forced her to sign over the deed to her beloved gallery, was absolutely heartbreaking. She had to take that pen and literally sign away her legacy, her safe haven, just to keep herself and Justine alive. You could see the sheer humiliation and terror in her eyes. It was a stark reminder that no matter how tough Ava thinks she is, there is always a bigger, more ruthless predator out there in the dark. What really gave me the chills, though, was the realization that washed over Ava's face as she handed over that signed document. I could see the exact moment it clicked for her. Sidwell does not just want money. He does not just want a fancy art gallery to launder his cash or hide his stolen goods. He wants to own Port Charles. He wants to control the elite, the wealthy, the powerful families that run this town. By taking the gallery, by blackmailing the assistant district attorney, by holding the Quartermain family's darkest secret in his back pocket, he is weaving a net over the entire city. Ava realized that they are not just dealing with a thug, they are dealing with a mastermind who intends to bring the high society of Port Charles to its knees. It is a terrifying prospect, and I felt a deep sense of dread settling over me as I watched that scene play out. I keep thinking about the incredible burden now resting on Justine's shoulders, and honestly, I do not know how she is going to survive the mental toll of this. If she agrees to Sidwell's demands and drops the charges against Curtis, she is destroying her own moral compass. She will be letting a violent assault go unpunished and allowing a hit-and-run driver to escape justice, all to save her own skin. But if she refuses, if she stands her ground and tries to be a hero, Sidwell will not hesitate to end her life right there on the gallery floor. And even if she somehow escapes, Sidwell will release that video and the entire Quartermain family will be dragged through the mud. Brooke Lynn will go to prison, Chase's heart will be broken, and they will lose baby Phoebe forever. It is a completely no-win situation, and my heart just bleeds for this poor woman who walked into the gallery expecting a normal day and ended up in a fight for her soul. Let us not forget about Jordan Ashford in all of this mess. My goodness, Jordan has been through the ringer lately. She was the one lying bleeding in the street after Brooke Lynn hit her. She is the one who has been clashing with Portia at that disastrous baby shower over Curtis's violent behavior. Jordan has been fighting so hard to maintain order and justice in her life, and now her own tragedy is being used as a bargaining chip by a monster. The sheer injustice of it all makes me want to scream at the television. Jordan deserves to know who hit her. She deserves closure. But because of Sidwell's wicked game, her pain is just a tool for him to manipulate the legal system. It is so deeply unfair, and I can only imagine the absolute fury Jordan will feel if she ever discovers how her accident was used to blackmail the DA's office. The ripple effects of this hostage situation are going to be absolutely massive, and I am bracing myself for the fallout. Just imagine Tracy Quartermain's reaction when she learns that the secret she demanded Brooke Lynn keep is now in the hands of a criminal mastermind. Tracy is a fierce protector of her family's legacy, but even she might not be a match for someone as cold-blooded as Sidwell. And poor Harrison Chase, he is a dedicated detective, a man who believes in the law above all else. He is so happy right now, celebrating the good news about Phoebe's closed adoption, completely oblivious to the fact that his wife is a criminal and that her secret is currently the subject of a life-or-death hostage negotiation. When this truth finally comes to light, and it always does in Port Charles, it is going to shatter Chase's world into a million tiny pieces. I honestly do not know if their marriage can survive a blow this devastating. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, it is truly terrifying to see how much power Sidwell and his associate Ross Cullum are amassing. We already know they have poor Jocelyn Jacks locked up at Windermere, suffering a terrible psychological breakdown. We know they violently abducted Liesl Obrecht and are forcing her to work on that dangerous cold fusion project. And now, Sidwell is taking his reign of terror to the mainland, invading Ava's gallery and taking the law into his own hands. They are operating with complete impunity, striking at the very heart of Port Charles' most powerful families. It feels like a dark cloud has settled over the town, and I find myself constantly worrying about who their next victim will be. The stakes have never been higher, and the emotional toll on these characters is just staggering to witness. As I sit here reflecting on everything that has happened, I am just overwhelmed with a mix of excitement, anxiety, and deep emotional investment in these storylines. The writers have truly outdone themselves by weaving all these different threads together from Brooke Lynn's guilt to Curtis's legal troubles to Ava's fight for control. It all collided in the most spectacular and terrifying way possible. I feel like I am right there in the room with them, holding my breath, waiting to see what Justine will choose and how Ava will survive this humiliation. It is television at its absolute finest, full of heart, danger, and those rich, complex family dynamics that we have all come to love so deeply. I know I will be glued to my screen for the next few weeks, praying that someone somehow finds a way to outsmart Sidwell before he completely destroys the town we love. Maybe Sonny Corinthos will figure out what is happening and step in, or maybe Anna Devane will uncover the WSB's dark ties to this mess. Whatever happens, I am so grateful to be on this journey with all of you, sharing these gasps, these tears, and these incredibly shocking moments. Thank you so much for letting me pour my heart out about this episode. Keep your loved ones close, stay safe out there, and I simply cannot wait to come back and talk about whatever crazy, wonderful, terrifying thing happens next in Port Charles.